Shams, what can you tell us about the Golden State Warriors?
Malika, sources tell me the Warriors have reached an agreement to go acquire Dennis Schroder
Hmm.
from the Brooklyn Nets for 3 second-round draft picks. Schroder is someone Stephen Curry, Steve Kerr, Draymond Green all advocated for. They have a lot of respect for him. They're excited about this addition. They've played against him in those Team USA Germany matches in the playoffs over the years. And when you think about it for Schroder, he has been in one of his best seasons in the NBA so far, a career year from three-point range. He immediately becomes the Warriors' second leading scorer. And this doesn't keep the Warriors outside the big game hunting. I'm told they remain active in the hunt for a star player, and they can aggregate Schroder's contract in a bigger move later this season.
Schroeder has been averaging a career high in assists this season, and now he is on his way to the Golden State Warriors to pair alongside Steph Curry. Shams, thank you so very much.
This is massive domination. The Warriors pull off the first trade of the season for them, and it's massive. We're going to talk about this today. Let's break down. Let's explain how Dennis Schroder is going to fit in the Warriors rotation right now, and that's going to be super important. Obviously, this is coming to address one of the main needs that we have at this moment. That is the fact that we lost Anthony Melton when we have lost 7 out of 9 games since that happened. And it's clear that the fact this is happening is because we lost that second option in our backcourt. Steve Curry is still working and trying to find pairs for Stephen Curry, and then Schroder comes to address that need. That's massive. It's basically a seal for the Warriors. As you can see here on the screen, the Warriors are sending the Anthony Melton contract. Remember, the Anthony Melton is out for the season. We are sending 3 second-round picks, and we are getting Dennis Schroder and a second-round pick back. There are some rumors that the Warriors might send Reese Beekman, that he has been playing for the G League as well, but obviously none of the Warriors fans will sweat because of that. He has been performing well in the G League, but I think it's worth it. Then Schroder is a veteran. Look at what he posted after the news came out. So he's already addressing himself as part of the Dub Nation. That is great, and I think he comes immediately for the starting 5. He's gonna pair with Stephen Curry, and he's gonna address a lot of the problems that we have. Let's talk about this. So I'm putting in the screen some highlights, and you will see that the play style that Dennis Schroder addressed is not necessarily as the Warriors play right now, right? He's not much of an off-ball movement player. He's a more classic point guard. He plays with the ball in his hand. Remember, he's a veteran. He plays for the German national team, so he's gonna need some screens. He's gonna run some pick and rolls. He's a good he has a good percentage. He's in the best season of his career, right? The reason that actually the Brooklyn Nets is sending Dennis Schroder right now for the Warriors, that even that they had improved this season, they still probably going for a tanking and then thinking about the future and rebuilding, right? They already traded recently Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving. They let it go, a lot of those big assets. And then Schroder is a veteran with a $13 million contract right now for this season. So for the Warriors, he fits really well. He's not going to complicate the Warriors for the future, and he's going to address the gap that the Anthony Melton led since he's injured. So it's bad for the Anthony Melton because obviously he was playing well. He was a big piece of the Warriors' success in the beginning of the season. But unfortunately, his injury is something that he's been dealing in his career, and the Warriors could afford to not let that player available. So we need to replace, and then Schroder makes perfect sense. He was obviously being rumored before, and as you can see there in the highlights, he's gonna address that shooting. He's averaging 18 points right now, which comes as already immediately to be the second option, score option for the Warriors. He will take it off pressure from Stephen Curry about handling the ball and creating the plays. He will take pressure out of Andrew Wiggins, which will become eventually in some games the second score option, other games the third score. It takes off pressure off Buddy Hield, which hasn't been great. In the starting 5 is much better coming off the bench. You get like a different rotation, you get more space. So, and you can also use Dennis Schroder when Stephen Curry is not on the court, right? Because you can have that guy leading the team. He's a veteran, he's not a rookie anymore. He knows how to play the game, and no one stays for this long in the NBA if you're not able to succeed. So he's definitely being massive for the Warriors right now. He's not letting it go. I mentioned in a few in a few videos here before that my biggest fear with the Warriors was the fact that probably most of the trades that were being rumored, it would require the Warriors to send so many players, and that would damage our roster. It would damage the thing that we built about having a deep roster that you could count on different players on and off. And then through the trade, it's a big move that Mike Dunleavy Jr., Steve Kerr, and as you heard about Chen Sharana said, he was obviously supported by Draymond Green and Stephen Curry. So it's actually they didn't forget, right? Then Schroder just dropped 31 points in the Warriors this season, like in that game against the Nets. So he's been playing well. He put 33 points against Memphis Grizzlies. So he can shoot threes. Like he really gonna fit a lot of the gaps that we have, and more important, it's gonna support Stephen Curry on that backcourt. We need to address that drought that we have been having this past games in the last 4 minutes because all the pressure is on Stephen Curry. Donald Kuminga on and off is playing well, so he is really important right now. So let's take a look on his stats. You already saw some of the highlights there, but let's take a look on his stats for the season. So you can see he's having probably the best season of his career at the Nets. I would expect, and we gotta be honest about it, like he's coming to a team where the main player is not gonna be him, right? The main player who's gonna lead that offense is always Stephen Curry. So it wouldn't be surprising if this stats, like the 18 points per game, almost 18.5, the rebounds and the assists, I think it might still be big because you're gonna have like some good players on the side like Andrew Wiggins, Jonathan Kuminga, Buddy Hield, and Stephen Curry to provide those assists, create those pick and rolls, work with Looney on that, Tracy Jackson. But it's not gonna be a surprise if the points come down. The points coming down, it will balance, but he's still like if he's averaging every game those 16 points, pairing with Andrew Wiggins, with Jonathan Kuminga, that's what the Warriors needs. That's a gap that we are having right now. He will take it off. I haven't said yet. A lot of pressure from Brandon Porzingis that he was coming from an amazing rookie year, and he basically, I'm gonna say this way, destroyed that reputation right now because you can see, you go on Twitter, you're gonna see so many Warriors fans mad at Brandon Porzingis right now because he's not playing well. I mentioned here it's a problem that we have, and I think in taking that pressure off that Dennis Schroder is gonna provide, it will fit like a perfect glove right now for Brandon Porzingis. So the Warriors did a really big move, and 12 years in the league, a veteran, 1 year contract, then the Warriors can decide in the future what to do. He's fitting perfectly to what we need right now. So it's going to change a little bit. It's going to create a different, let's call a different style for the Warriors as well. He opens one more option of playing, not just that. Because a lot of times when you look at those last 9 games, you saw that the Warriors offense was struggling because if Stephen Curry wasn't there, and even sometimes when he was, the opponent team, knowing that he was the only option, the only one creating that, it was really hard. When you add someone like Dennis Schroder, that came at a low cost, so I think it's really worth it. He can run the offense himself. He can create something. He can attack the ring. You saw in the highlights, he had some opportunities over Brook Lopes, that is a big center. So he has that experience and he can do that and he can draw attention, which opens space for everyone else. So he's not playing tonight. I think he's gonna fit. Obviously, he needs to start training with the team and fit in the rotation. It was just announced, like despite the rumors coming yesterday, the reason I didn't post it because I wanted to wait this to be confirmed. And then Schroeder was just available today. So today was confirmed. He posted about it, and we should probably see him. And we're gonna look at the schedule for the Warriors. But the Warriors are playing tonight against the Mavericks. Klay Thompson's coming back to the Chase Center again, 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. But we will not see Dan Schroeder just yet. Although, if you look at the schedule for the Warriors, we are playing here. You see the semifinals of the NBA Emirates Cup yesterday. Today, Sunday the 15th, we're playing against the Dallas Mavericks. And then we don't play for 3 days because we have the finals of the NBA Emirates Cups of Milwaukee Bucks and the OKC. Those semifinals were yesterday. And then we play on the 19th on Thursday against the Memphis Grizzlies, which will be there in Memphis, will be a tough game. And probably this is going to be so important because this gap of 3 days is the perfect timing to get him used to the rotation, to the style of play. And maybe he doesn't start yet on that game, but for sure we will see some minutes yet. So everything that is happening, I think the Warriors did in a very, very important timing. address it, one of the main needs right now. There's still other things that we would like to see. We keep saying here about having size, a big center, but I think this already adds that second scorer, not maybe a 30-point every game, but he can explode for that. He can create space, can create assists. So then Schroder fits with the Warriors really well. And I'm excited for that. So last, I want to know your opinion. I want to remind that, as Chanchavarne said, the Warriors are not done yet. They're still looking for more opportunities. And one of the big things about Dennis Schroder is a one-year contract doesn't hurt most of the teams right now. The way that is fitting for the Warriors is because he's a $13 million contract. Anthony Melton's 12.8. So when you're that 200,000 gap, it still fits for the Warriors to be under the apron. So it's perfectly done. And then with that, it still allows the Warriors, if necessary, I don't think will happen, but it could still involve him or not involve, but the Warriors are still looking for a second trade, maybe more options. The Warriors are on the market. That's great. And I think we're addressing what we need. Excited for the game tonight. I hope you enjoy, and I see you tomorrow.